And one of the 10 things that I share is about sex. Can we talk about that for a second?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's talk about
Okay.
sex.
If you're a believer,
Yeah.
before you get married, the enemy wants to do everything he can to get you to have sex. After you get married, he does everything he can to keep you
from having sex.
And the only thing that you have to really sustain the sex is the actual intimacy, which goes back to friendship.
Indeed. We're back. Welcome to another episode of the High Vibrations Only podcast, a place where we're all about inspiration, motivation, elevation. We want to make you feel good, make you feel like you could take on the world, because guess what, baby? You could take on the world. Today's guest, it's my brother from another mother. He is lead pastor of the Christian Cultural Center in Atlanta. He is a record executive. He is also a podcast host of The Greater Narrative and father to Sammy. I am so elated to welcome to the show my brother, Pastor Sam Collier. Welcome to the show, sir.
Doctor. Well, we were supposed to do this last week.
Right.
I got under the weather before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So I had to fly up to D.C.
Oh, man.
So I could be with you. It's an amazing city. How long you been here?
It is almost 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not born and raised?
No.
Because you from the islands?
No, Nigeria.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pops moved out here.
Yeah.
I think summer of 1999.
Okay.
You know, so we've been around a little bit.
Yeah.
We've been around a little bit. It's a great city. You've been here just a day.
Just a day, man. I came up for
Did
you
Did you go to the thing? To the because you were asking about the
steakhouse.
Yeah.
I don't want to say where I went. It was nice.
Yeah.
You told me to go there.
Right.
It was very nice.
But I told you to go a couple of places though.
Yes.
Okay.
I selected the last one. And
the one I told you not to.
No, not that one.
Okay.
Not that one. The other one.
The other one.
The other one. It's located in a hotel.
Yeah, see that's why I put that. I should have told you in order. Like that last one, yeah. The first one, yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Where I went, I mean, they gave me the steak.
Okay.
It was Cajun style.
So it was good.
Oh, it was amazing.
Okay.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. That was good. We're not gonna say the name of it because they're not paying for any of this right here.
Well, I'm in my single season.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm learning. I'm getting outside.
Right.
I'm trying to discover.
Right.
Are you single?
I am.
How long you been single?
I've been single for a little bit.
Okay. Listen, you didn't tell me it was like this outside. It's wild out here.
No, you know what I think it is?
Yeah.
I think is if you you're going from not being single to being single.
Okay. Yeah.
Then it's tough.
Yeah.
See, for a lot of us, we're kind of, at some point, you kind of get used to being single.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying I want to be single forever, but I'm not in a hurry. Like, I think
How old are you?
Well, I'm 35.
Okay.
Yeah.
You in a good...
Yeah.
It's about that time.
It's about that time. It's about that time. It's about that time.
You feel like you're getting closer?
I think I'm getting closer. To be honest with you, I am not looking to get married right now.
Okay.
But I am looking to find the one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You want to start the journey towards
Yes.
marriage. Okay.
Particularly friendship. Yeah, because I think the last situationship I was in about 6 years ago.
Okay, it was a situationship.
It was a situationship, yeah. We didn't start on the foundation of friendship. We went right into romance and all.
Right.
So I'm learning now is be friends first.
Wow.
Can we stand each other as friends?
Can we stand the rain?
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like that. Like can I bounce ideas off of you? Like where are you going? You know what I mean? Because I think when you talk about the Proverbs 31 woman, there's something about, being in the presence of a woman, you walk away, you feel like $1 million. You feel like you can take on the world.
Yes.
I think our generation emphasizes so much of like the superficial stuff. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, of course, be someone that you're attracted to. But at the end of the day, what's going to keep a marriage is not just a pretty face and a nice body. Right. It's going to be much more than that.
Absolutely.
So I think for me, I'm in that season, particularly just knowing where God is taking me and the space that I'm in. And intimate space is like you need someone who is just right for that purpose.
Absolutely.
Someone that can pray with you, pray for you, speak to the king in you, because it's going to be hard times.
Yeah.
I need a woman that can get in the place of prayer.
In the trenches.
Let me tell you.
With you.
Listen.
Yes.
You know, so with that, you know, you take your time. I don't. Yeah. So
well, it's interesting because as a pastor, you know, having done a ton of premarital for couples, having walked through my own marriage, failed, right? Which nobody gets married to get divorced, right? And then obviously counseling couples. We still counseling couples in our church now. Some married for 30 and 40 years that are trying to figure out if they're going to stay together. Having walked with couples that gotten divorced and those that have gotten rescued, I have found, to your point, the concept of friendship and certain amount of values, temperament. These are the things that we really don't talk about or fully understand before we get married. And unfortunately, we don't really get it until it's too late. We're married, we're on the other side, you got excited about it, and then you realize what you were excited about in your single season with that individual is not what you need to take everything forward in your married season. Because it's just another ball game. I'll give you an example. I was talking to a couple. Whenever I do premarital, it's 10 things I wish somebody would have told me before I got married. So it's less about therapy. And look, let me just share with you 10 things I wish somebody would have told me. And one of the 10 things that I share is about sex. Can we talk about that for a second?
Absolutely. Okay. Let's talk about
sex. But and this is just an example. Is you know, before you get married, if you're a believer and you believe in the principles that the Bible teaches around sex, waiting, so on and so forth, then there's this novelty around it, right? And can we be real on that?
Absolutely.
You know, Kirk Franklin got his new show.
All the way real. Yes, all the way real. We listen.
Right. I saw Kirk's new show. You know, he got everybody on there, and they talking some believers, some not. I'm like, Kirk, now what are we doing? Are we still doing melodies from heaven, or what's happening?
Right now.
But if we're gonna keep it real, it's like, you know, the whole idea of waiting until you get married. I think Christians still agree with that, but not as many people are doing it. You know, in today's climate, if we were to get real. When I talk to singles and all of that are in our church and others, they're like, okay, I believe. But with that, there's this novelty around sex. So it's like, man, I do it, but I don't really want it. Like, I don't think I should be doing it, so on and so forth. So there's this thing. It's like, oh, let me just, you know, and whatever is forbidden, you tend to want to do more. Right? But after you get married, and you only realize this until you get married. After you get married, what was forbidden is no longer forbidden. So all of a sudden, the allure goes away. Right. And so I had a mentor tell me once, before you get married, the enemy wants to do everything he can to get you to have sex. After you get married, he does everything he can to keep you
from having sex.
And you don't you're like, how is that even possible? I want it so much. But it's all of a sudden when it's legal. It gets real, and the only thing that you have to really sustain the sex is the actual intimacy, which goes back to friendship, because friendship is really the real foundation of intimacy. Like, dang, I gotta like you to want to have sex. Before, I didn't have to like you. I could just meet me. So, but it was because it was forbidden. And so it's interesting. You know, those are the things that we often, you know, we don't know.
You said 10 things, though.
You want me to go on now?
You told the people 10 things. I'm saying they're going to be looking at you like, okay, that's number one.
Right.
Where's 2 through 10? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I'll give you one that I think is, it's a game changer for marriages. It's around the idea of needs versus wants. So one of the things that we've discovered counseling couples, and then obviously from experience, there are a lot of things that we want that we mistake for needs. So when we're dating somebody, when we're in a relationship, we have preferences. But when you get married, you realize that you can actually change certain things that you never thought you could change. And you realize that something that was once in your mind, a need is actually a want. And if we're not careful, we will end up fighting for the wants versus dying on the hill for the needs. So you find yourself always in conflict around, I don't want to go to the movies at a certain time. I don't want to eat at this place. I like the way you do this or do that. And you realize, man, no, actually, I can make a concession in that area. I'm making a really big deal out of something that I actually don't need.
Right.
I just want it. And so what we try to encourage couples to do, and what I've tried to, is, hey, before we get into what I need from you or what I want from you or you not doing this, I try to go, hey, let's take a moment and identify what you actually need. In other words, without this, you cannot function.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that's so important is because if we don't identify this, and I want to talk about couples that have broken up. I'm walking a couple now through a situation. I walked one recently and they got divorced. And one I walked and they stayed married. One of the things that we found is that because they weren't clear on what their wants were versus their needs, the other spouse took for granted what they needed. Okay. And in their mind, subconsciously and even consciously, they did not agree that the other person needed it. Okay. So they starved them of the need. Okay. And they were like, oh, you really do need that? It's like, yeah, I've been telling you for 10 years. Yeah, but I didn't know that that's one of the things you need. So what we try to tell couples, hey, identify it and then die on that hill. So you take your spouse out and you go, hey, I know we've been talking about this. I know I've had but this is something I need to get really serious about. And I'm talking about year 1, year 2. Yeah. This is something I actually need. Like I need you to talk to me this way. Right. I need.
What is your love language?
Right. I need it. This isn't a want. Yeah. This is a need. Right. And so anyway, that's one of the other ones. Can I give you one more?
I mean, I thought I was gonna do 10. But
I can't do all 10. If I do all 10, I won't be able to write the book about it.
Right. No, see, there's the thing. Get the book. He's trying to say get the book. So we're gonna give you 3. Number 1, sex, needs. Number 1, sex. Be clear on that. Needs versus wants. Yes. And then what's the third one?
Okay, I'll give you
For now.
For now. It's 10.
Cut for time.
Okay. Right. I'll give you one more. This is worth all 10. Okay. This is something that I didn't know. A therapist taught it to me and a married couple that had been married for a while. This was really big. A process they called mechanical, awkward, natural. Mechanical, I'm doing it this way to go up. Mechanical, awkward, natural.
That's MAN.
Oh.
Man. Because, like in school, you got to come up with the little, what they call them, the acronyms and stuff to try to remember.
It was the discovery. Yeah. That's MAN.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Mechanical, awkward,
natural.
Shout out to the Coxes, wherever they are.
Yeah.
Marquise Cox, Chris.
Yeah.
We were talking about developing new habits. So the tension, and you probably have faced this in your relationship, in your situationships. Right? It's like, in your situationships. The tension that, one of the greatest tensions that couples have when you reach this point is when your needs start to clash with somebody else's needs, right? Okay. That's the big tension. That's usually why couples break up, because it's like, I need this, but it's in conflict with what I need. Right. How do we now work this out? Or we go a step further. You need me to do something that is not in my personality. And I'll give you an example. So I'm a loud person. Yeah. You know this. Yeah. You're a little loud too.
Hey, I'm up there. I'm up there.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
Right?
Like
you're Nigeria.
We come in with the
right.
You know what I'm saying? So
and so let's say you get with a spouse or a girlfriend or whatever that's soft spoken, right? They grew up in a space where everybody in their house was here. Yeah. Or they grew up in a verbally abusive home. Yeah. Well, anytime you get loud, it shocks them. Well, your natural personality is loud, right? So every time there's this thing. And so what tends to happen is there may be a request, hey, I just want to, you're a little loud. Yeah. Can we? And you're like, and our typical response is, I can't be myself.
Yeah, I can't be myself. What you trying to change me? Like,
right. Yeah. If I can't be me, and then it's like, well, I can't hear you. Can you talk? Yeah. And she's like, I can't be myself. Right. And let's go a little further. The first question is, well, is this a need? Right? Like, do you need me to be quiet? Is this a need, or is this a want? Yeah. Well, for some people, it might be a need. So the question becomes, for you, can you come down a little bit and without it tearing up your authenticity. Okay?
Okay.
So let's say you can.
Yeah.
One of the things that this couple began to walk me through is this process, and they were saying this is how you develop new habits, right? Now, there are certain things that you're just not going to be able to do because it takes you all the way outside of who you are, right? Like, I'm not going to I process, I go deep. That's something that just is me, right?
Okay.
If I can't do that much, it's probably going to be a problem because that's a part of who I am.
Yeah.
That's not something I want to trade in.
Yeah.
But bringing down my voice for my spouse, cool,
I can do that.
right? I can do that. But it's not natural. And oftentimes we will say, I'm not going to do this certain thing because it's not natural.
It's not natural. Okay.
So then so because it doesn't feel natural, you're taking me outside of who I am. If I can't be who I am, then I can't be with you.
Yeah. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal.
It's not. So their process is you want to start by trying.
Yeah.
And when you try, it's going to be mechanical.
Yeah.
You're just going to be doing it just to do it. It's not natural. I don't really like doing it.
Yeah.
I'm used to screaming. I'm used to getting loud. I want to pat my leg. I want to run down the hall and come back when I laugh.
Yeah.
But she's afraid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it starts off mechanical. Then they say the more you do it, it becomes awkward.
Awkward, yeah.
And then eventually, after a few times, it becomes natural.
Natural.
And so they give you permission to evolve. Now, this is not with everybody. I tell every spouse, it's like, you're not going to be 100% yourself with your spouse.
Yeah.
That's what your friends are for.
Yeah.
Right? Your friends, that's why you pick. When I see you, I came in, you screamed at me, I screamed at you. I'm like, let's go. Right? Otherwise, we're not going to be, that's you my friend for that reason.
Right.
But with your spouse, you usually marry your opposite and so on and so forth. There are going to be concessions that need to be made.
Okay.
And that process of mechanical, awkward, and natural gives you permission to evolve.
Yeah, wow. That's amazing. Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen, I wanted to talk with you because it's a lot.
Right.
Yeah. It's a lot. Because I saw a lot, I read a lot, you know what I mean? But I
Googled me?
I didn't, well, I did my research.
Okay. I'm like, we don't work
You
on
have
Google.
such an incredible story, though, and I
Yeah.
think people don't emphasize that aspect of the story. It's a greater story, no pun intended.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You and your sister Sarah,
Yeah.
you were given up for adoption.
Yeah.
Shortly after your mom found out, she had about 3 kids before you guys, and she found out,
Yeah.
you know, she gave you up. And at 24, on the Steve Harvey show, you met your actual biological siblings.
Yeah.
It's been an incredible story coming up in Sweet Auburn, Atlanta. Yes.
You done did your research.
You know what I mean? And one of the things that stood out for me was how you were told that you would not amount to anything.
Right.
And your sister, a straight A student, you played 6 instruments, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You got, and you got a record deal at 16. You know, now granted things didn't pan out the way that they did, but and then you got the invitation to North Point.
Yeah. North Point, Ebenezer.
And that evolved into at some point then Hillsong, and then where we're at right now with Christian Cultural Center. And then the whole situation happened.
Right.
Now, we were talking offline, and I was saying you got the word at 18 that you were supposed to be married.
Right.
Because, of course, marriage is not for everyone.
Right.
The Apostle Paul said, if I willed, if it's left for me, I would that people don't. But just so that people, are not consumed with lust.
Yep.
Each man should have his own wife and vice versa. Now, your story, the whole thing.
Come on, word. Talk that talk.
I'll be in my word.
Talk that word. Right? Better to marry than to burn.
Listen.
Yeah.
But you got married, and what I wanted to talk to you about, what I want to ask you, looking back, you got a word at 18.
Yeah.
When you met your now ex, did you get a confirmation? Did you? What made you say, you know what? Because about 2-3 months, you guys were together and you got married.
Yeah.
What made you say, you know what? After 2 to 3 months, this is the one. Did you hear that, or what was that thing that made you move forward with that?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I'm glad you asked. My best answer to that is I don't know. And I'm gonna say that because I feel like God blesses marriage.
Yeah.
And it's one of the areas that He gives us free will in.
Yeah.
He advises us not to marry non-believers and all. But if you ended up marrying a non-believer, he would bless the marriage, right? I don't believe in the concept of the one, but of the 3 or 4.
Okay.
And let me define that. I think, if you were married to someone and you die, or that individual dies, I'm sorry, and that was the one, should you not get remarried?
Right.
Is this now the new one, or so on and so forth?
Yeah.
So I do think God disapproves and approves, but I think he disapproves of more, and he approves of just a few.
Right.
And so that's a difficult question for me because of where it lands theologically. Here's what I can tell you naturally and therapeutically. The Bible says there's safety in a multitude of counsel. And so I had counsel around me at that particular time that I did not listen to.
Okay.
And, they knew that when I was coming into this marriage and my ex-wife was coming out of her first marriage, they knew it was back to back. So she got divorced and then we got together almost a week later and two months later we're married, right?
Okay.
But I had counsel around me, right? And so, and they said, you need to wait a year.
Yeah.
You need to wait a year.
Yeah.
Just give it a year.
Yeah.
And I hate saying this because the Christian Post took it out of context when I talked about being drunk in love.
Okay.
It's been the most succinct way to explain.
Would you call that love though?
It depends on how you define love.
Okay.
I tend to define it as half an emotion and half a responsibility.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a decision to love someone.
Yeah.
You can go down the road of infatuation, but does infatuation also come with responsibility?
Yeah.
I think that's where, I think at 2 months, I made the decision to be responsible for her. And I had this deep emotion and longing for who she was. Right. I could take you down a lot of roads that my therapist has taken me down in reference to, he says every person is naturally 3 things, one of 3 things in your most unhealthy state: a hero, a victim, or a bully.
A hero, a victim, or a bully. Okay.
A hero, a victim, or a bully.
Okay.
And in the healthy state, the hero becomes the coach, the victim becomes the victor or the survivor, and the bully becomes the encourager.
Yeah.
Well, every pastor is like a hero.
Yeah.
Right? So we want to save. We want to do this.
Yeah.
And when I met, and she's spoken about this publicly, but when I met my ex-wife, she was in a state of, I'll use her word, desperation. I'll use her word.
Desperation as in?
She was just coming out of a marriage.
Okay, desperate to be with someone else, or what does that mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Right? But I would say she was in a state that most women would be in, or men, after you come out of a divorce. And I can tell you, after coming out of my divorce, you're very vulnerable, right? You're in a very vulnerable state. Your heart is wide open. There's a hole, right? They define divorce as death. And that's how it feels. It feels like something's dying on the inside of you. This is why God says he hates divorce. Because it is the ripping of a covenant of 2 things. Not every marriage works, not every marriage state, right? So I'm not the guy that's like, nobody should ever be divorced. I actually think there's a category in the church where some individuals, that marriage needs to come apart, right? It was founded on the wrong principles, so on and so forth.
But see the way my mind works, you're going, because the way my mind works, I'm trying to go there. What you just said, I can park it there for like the next hour, but we're gonna let you continue.
No, we can come back to that.
Yes. We can come back to that.
But in reference to myself, the therapist would say that his hypothesis, let's not say fact.
Yeah, hypothetically speaking.
Your hero fell in love with her victim.
Wow. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So she was in a vulnerable space. I'm not calling her a victim. I don't know. But his therapeutic advice, and there was a trauma bond.
Yeah.
Right? Hero, victim, we come together.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed, let me cultivate, let me help, let me do this. Right? And there was this sense of, there's this guy, he's helping me.
Yeah.
There's, And so I kind of become the knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
She kind of becomes the damsel in distress.
Yeah.
Right? And we mistake each other's identity. So for me, within that, what happens is you start to get healthy. And when you don't have time, talk about the year that I did not listen to.
Yeah.
When you don't have time, what happens is you don't have a moment to fully discover who you actually are, and who the other person actually is. And so as things begin to progress, we discover who we are. And it's like, ooh,
oh wow,
I don't know that I knew you. You know, so on and so forth. And you start having some problems.
So had you waited that year, you would have gotten more clarity, so to speak.
Absolutely.
And looking back now in retrospect.
My new mantra as I rebuild my life. That came from my therapist is health over platform.
Okay.
Versus platform over health. And, you know, this is an individual that specializes in working with pastors, CEOs, and celebrities. So he has crafted this concept of health over platform that often is left out. And this concept of platform over health is what has damaged many of us. That we prioritize the platform over our own well-being in order to try to keep it together. And so one of the things I would say, I think to your point, because I think your question is around what does it mean to be human and to be a leader and to live that out in real time and to go through struggles and so on and so forth. Here's what I would say. One of the reasons I did not want to continue to be a pastor was not because I had gone through a lot, right? Or even made mistakes. But it was because I felt as if the Christian system is broken. So you have the church, which is the body of Christ. And then you have, if I write a book, it'll be about this. And then you have the institution of church. The institution of church is what governs the body of Christ. So when we talk about, we know what church is. It's the gathering of the saints. To be vulnerable, you know, and I'm only saying this because it's me and you, right, brothers. I started having issues and self-destructing in my marriage. And there were therapists and leaders around me because I was on such a massive platform. That were involved and knew what was going on with me, you know. And when I look back, I had my therapist ask me once, you know, where was God in all of this? You know, when you were going through all of this and when you were, where was God? What was he telling you to do? Right? And he was telling me that I needed to get out. And this is no shot or shade to my ex. This, again, she's spoken about some of this stuff publicly. Even, I think she said a few times that 2 years in, she knew that it should have ended as well. And so, but the Lord was telling me that, right? But I had individuals, don't miss this. I feel like I'm on stage. This is it. Don't miss this. Turn to your neighbor. Telling me to stay. And that's one of the things I wrestle with the most. Because I'm like, here it is. I'm trying to make a decision to fix what's broken. To correct a 2-month decision. We knew it shouldn't have made that. And here it is, God's giving an opportunity to do it. He's saying, it's okay. Before things go here, let's get it here. And I've got therapists and leaders telling me to stay. And I'm telling you, no. And so my therapist asked me, if you could go back, what would you have needed to hear then to prevent you from being here? I said, I just needed somebody to agree with me.
Agree with you that leaving was
the right. I think when you assess this, because I knew in my heart and in my soul that it was the right thing that would have helped everyone and would have avoided so much calamity and so much heartbreak and hurt in the marriage that we both encountered, right? And so this is why I say the system is broken, because what happens is if you're a humble individual, if you're a leader, humble leader, you submit yourself to wise counsel. Yeah. You say, hey, what about? And when you're in a state of brokenness and when you're in a state of trying to work things out, then you're naturally going to lean on your circle. The people that you submit to, the people that you trust, the therapists and the leaders and the pastors. And when those people are telling you opposite of what you believe, the humble version of you goes, well, I guess maybe that's the right thing. Yeah. But those are the very same people that leave you when you self-destruct. Yeah. In something that they could have helped you come out of, Yeah. So this happens all the time. Yeah. And I'm saying that's my story.
And that's what I was talking about. That's what I was saying. Like when you do, because we don't want to get divorced. But when you do find yourself in that, because not all marriages are ordained by God. Yeah. So now are you saying that this marriage that was not ordained by God, we're taking it to God to bless it, even when we find out now with new information that this wasn't it? Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Because people marry for a lot of different reasons. Yeah. It has nothing to do with the fact that this is who God, spoke to you about. And now with new information, with new revelation, you find out, so now what do you do? Because that's what you are in, you know what I mean? And that's like, there's so many people who would just, let's just stay because it wouldn't look good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Listen, people make mistakes. Right. I'm not condoning any of my mistakes or anybody's mistakes, but people make them. Yeah. And what I love about God is that the Bible says he always provides a way of escape. Yeah. From temptation and from everything. Yeah. What I love about God is that he gives us an opportunity to fix our mistakes before they become explosions. Yeah. He gives us an opportunity. Mm. But what I have found is that when we talk about Christian leadership and the institution, we can talk restoration, we can talk all the other things, is that the system is not truly designed in a way that allows for you to fix mistakes that you make before they become explosions. Because, and I'm going to go back to your original statement, and this is what I have found with Dr. Bernard. Like, we're going to get to this in a second, right? He comes from the Nation of Islam. Yeah. He's no longer in the Nation of Islam, obviously. He's a Christian. Yeah. But he took a lot of what he learned in the Nation of Islam and brought over here. Obviously, that aligned with Scripture. Yeah. He would say this, that he found family in the Nation of Islam and God in Christianity. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that you discover that they have in the nation is, the nation specializes. When you look at the story of Malcolm X, he found the Nation of Islam in prison. Yeah. So he's in prison. Yeah. He has destroyed his life. They reach into his life and say, now let's rebuild you into second chances are available. Third chances are available. Mistakes can be, bring me all your stuff. And here's the principle. I'm not afraid of it. Yeah. And we're not afraid to also make the hard decisions to correct the pathway that you're on. Yeah. And so what I have found with Christian Cultural Center, which is why I decided to go there, versus it wasn't about pastoring for me. I love my congregation. I love preaching and teaching and pastoring the people God has entrusted me with. And I want to do everything we can to reach as many people in the city of Atlanta. Yeah. But that's not why I said yes. Yeah. I said yes to joining a family, a system, because I was tired. I was like, if I'm going to do this again, then I'm not going to do it in the broken system that I was in, because that's just going to repeat the cycle. Yeah. I want to do it in a system of real family, real brotherhood, where we sit down and have a dialogue about, this is what's going on with me, this is what I'm dealing with, this is what I'm facing. And one, we're not afraid to make the hard decision. Yeah. Two, I'm not afraid that I'm going to lose my job for my imperfection, because everybody has stuff going on. Yeah. But we're going to wrap each other up. We're going to cover each other, and we're going to do it, not cover sin and all. We're not talking about that. We're going to reach down and go, hey, what do we need to do to truly create change in the right wrongs before they become this? Yeah. But you have to have a safe place to do that in. Yeah.
Because a lot of people, when I look at the comments, a lot of people kept saying, there are a lot of imperfect pastors or preachers, but they didn't leave their wives. Right. I kept seeing that, and it's almost as if people were saying, no matter what, Like, just stay. Just stay. And that begs the question, like, what if you now find out a decision that you took a decision, you didn't really seek the face of God. And now with new revelation, like, are we saying that God will bless anything? Even when you find out later on that that's not his will, that he will bless it?
Yeah, well, and that's a theological question.
Yeah.
I think what I would say to that is I'm going to take it out of the constructs of Christian leadership and put it in the context of just Christendom.
Yeah.
Right? Should every person stay married?
Yeah.
In a situation that is dysfunctional, in a situation that is toxic, and ultimately in a situation that is robbing you and or your spouse of the purpose that God has designed for you? And the answer is absolutely not. We believe this for the Christian.
Yeah.
We have a trouble believing it for the pastor. As if the pastor is not human, doesn't make mistakes. And this is why I go back to the system is broken. We have to get to a point where we all begin to wrestle together around the same issues and get honest. People make mistakes. People make different decisions. You end up in a marriage with somebody that decides they don't believe in God anymore. Right? It's like, yes, you do. I'm not making a point for just leaving somebody. I don't know. I'm saying you work down to the last bone. Right? I went to 230 therapy sessions in my marriage. 230. We worked hard to try and make it work. And when it could not, we knew, hey, I look back, because I kept hearing, have you done everything you can? Have you done everything you can? Have you done everything? Yes, everything.
Yeah.
And after you've done all you can, and it's still not, then a decision has to be made to pursue, don't miss it, God's best for you. Because God's design is that he would give us a life and life more abundantly.
Yeah.
The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. I have come, this is John 10:10, that you may have life and have it more abundantly. Well, that also includes marriage.
Yeah.
But it does not include jumping out of commitments and covenants all willy-nilly. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But it does include, man, if you realize after having done all you can to stand, that this thing is not producing, it's not God honoring anymore, and it is not God's best, and it is robbing you of the purpose. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your kids, and you owe it to God to break that so that you can rebuild God's way.
Yeah.
I think that's his will, and I think it's a conversation we don't have in the church.
Wow. So what do you say to people who have an issue with a divorced pastor as their lead pastor?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to ask the question, can people, let me create a couple caveats. Divorce is a sin. There are different individuals and different situations that the Bible talks about in which there are grounds for divorce, in which it would not be a sin. I'm not going to get into any of that. I'm going to say, let's say you're in one or two categories, right? There's some people that might hear my story and say, oh no, there were grounds. Absolutely. For divorce, it's not sin. He's good. Then there are people that may say, oh no, there are no grounds, right? There are some people that are in the theological camp that short of being choked or gun to your head, that you cannot get a divorce. So people would say that it is a sin. Well, then the question becomes, okay, well, let's say divorce is a sin, and let's say that I sinned, right? Well, then the question becomes, can God use sinners? Does he use sinners? Does that disqualify you from being used by God? Does that disqualify you from leading his flock? Well, I would say that there are multiple stories in the Bible where God has taken sinners and used them. Individuals will make the case for, well, but that's upon repentance, right? Then it begs the question, well, what is repentance? How do you really know if somebody has truly repented versus them just saying it? Well, God knows the heart. Well, you have to submit yourself to a process, right? You start to get into danger, but upon repentance, true repentance, which God only really knows.
Yeah.
And those individuals that you have entrusted with your heart and your soul, who have walked you through a process. For me, that's Dr. Bernard.
Yeah.
For me, that's Pastor Jamal Bernard. For me,
Right.
that's the truth. For other these individuals, right? And so, upon true repentance and reconciliation, as in you and the Lord, I believe the Lord uses everybody. If we're saying that being sinless is the only qualification for being used by God, then nobody's used by God.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the worship leaders.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the pastors, because they've sinned, you just don't know about it.
Yeah.
You just don't know about it.
Yeah.
Mine you know about, right?
Yeah.
If you consider divorce in the context of my marriage a sin. So, I would say, the individuals that come to our church are individuals who want a pastor who's been through something.
Yeah.
Who has repented for anything.
Yeah.
And who has made a decision to be committed to integrity.
Yeah.
To be submitted to accountability.
Yeah.
And to begin again.
Yeah.
Right? We have to believe, I think, in second and third chances.
Yeah.
Because if we don't believe it for the pastor, how can we believe it for ourselves? I'll end it with this. Joyce Myers is divorced.
Yeah.
She's divorced. Joyce Myers went through a divorce. She's led one of the greatest movements in Christianity.
Yeah.
Dr. Jamal Bryant, depending on how you feel about him, but he's done some incredible things. We can go down the list of so many individuals who have led well and who are pastors that have gone through a divorce and are doing great exploits for the kingdom of God.
What do you say to people who are like, they were accusing you that they're saying that you are unfaithful, is why the marriage came to an end, that it wasn't that you had a new understanding or that you discovered who you were, that they were saying that, that it was infidelity. There's some people who say that. Yeah, and they were saying, well, he's not accountable. He should be accountable. He should hold him. I don't see any accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've said in other interviews, man, I definitely was not perfect in my marriage. There was definitely sin in my marriage.
Yeah.
And I committed sin.
Yeah.
Trying to handle the level of dysfunction that was taking place, that I'll just say that was very, very difficult, and I completely own my piece in how I dealt, with the difficulty. For me, I'm all about accountability.
Yeah.
I have chosen not to speak on the public mess of our marriage for the sake of my son.
Yeah.
That is what I was advised by my divorce therapist, who said, because here's what the therapist said, and I thought it was so powerful. In my divorce, the therapist said, hey, one of the reasons you don't want to throw around these public accusations and these public attacks on one another publicly is because what happens is your child grows up one day and sees it, and they think something's wrong with them. They don't think just, something maybe's wrong with dad or something maybe's wrong with mom. They think, I love mom, I love dad.
Yeah.
If something's wrong with dad, there must be something wrong with me.
Yeah.
And so that's the main reason I have chosen not to just go, hey, let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Here's what happened.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It would be, it would not be prudent.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
Yeah.
And so, but what I would say to the individuals that talk about accountability and all of these things, and I would say there's a video on my Instagram where I got reordained in ministry.
Yeah, I saw that.
Under Dr. Bernard.
Yeah, I saw that.
And one of the things that he spoke about is he said, we're proud of Sam because he's walked through a process.
Yeah.
And the process required submission.
Yeah.
It required honesty.
Yeah.
It required, he didn't say this, confession.
Yeah.
It required repentance.
Yeah.
All of these things that, Dr. Bernard is known throughout our world for being a very strong faith leader.
Yeah.
And for being about integrity.
Yeah.
He said to me several times, Sam, I'll drop you like a bad habit. If you don't submit yourself, to a process, if you don't do all of these things, and so I would say to them, it's, you hate feeling like you're on public trial, right?
Yeah.
But when you have a public life, it is what it is. But you say what I would say to them, if I had to, was there's been so much accountability.
Yeah.
I just told you, it came from the Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
So it's very serious.
Yeah.
My existence now is a very serious and disciplined life with heavy amounts of accountability and submission.
You on Willie Moore, like I'm always fascinated how you guys, because he was
Willie Moore.
Yeah, Willie Moore Jr. He was adopted, because I think that is. I was talking to what's his face, Mark Russell, who's the founder of Better Wallet.
Yeah.
He was also someone who came up in the foster care system, and it's like I can never imagine what that was like, but for you were adopted and all, but to overcome that. What did it feel like at 24 when you met your biological family? How did you feel? Did you feel like mom betrayed you? What was that?
Right.
What was that going?
Well, I got a twin sister, and I won't speak for her, but I will say, it was mixed emotions all at once. I come from the church, and I come from a background of having a nonprofit that worked with kids in the inner city, for many years. Yeah. And so I'm well acquainted with those who have come from poverty. And that's a big part of my story. My life began in poverty. That's one of the reasons why the individual, my mother and father who adopted me, came to adopt me. That's one of the reasons they said they're probably not going to be much because of where they come from. My dad was addicted to all types of substances, and my family was in poverty at that particular time, which is why we were giving up for adoption. Yeah. She didn't have enough money to take care of the 3 kids she already had. Now you got 5. She's 21. Dad's on crack. Yeah. And so when we reunited, we were from different places. Yeah. It is truly the difference between nature versus nurture. Yeah. And so I just, compassion overwhelmed me.
Compassion for her.
Yeah. For my biological mother. Yeah. Who I'm still in contact with.
And that's so key, because some people would have been like, you ain't want me anyways.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you understood. Like,
And I'm not, I'm not saying that response is, warranted, or I'm not knocking anyone else who hasn't had that response. But being submitted to the gospel and being a pastor and having been acquainted, and part of it's my personality. Yeah. I just felt, it's one thing if it didn't work out, but God moved in our situation. Yeah. And so for me, I believe my response should be gratitude. Yeah. And compassion. And that's what I feel.
Do you feel like your saving grace was a church? Like do you feel like because you were in that environment so much that you could have very easily been the statistics? You know what I mean? Do you feel like having God and that faith, was that your saving grace? Would you say that?
Absolutely. Okay. But let me tell you why. So my dad was 50 when he adopted me and my twin sister. Yeah. He was 50. My mother was about 14 years younger maybe. She couldn't have kids, but they met in the middle of divorces. And they started dating, and in that moment said, maybe we should start going to church. Yeah. We've done it our way long enough. They had messy situations that they were both a part of, and they gave their life to Jesus. After they gave their life to Jesus, they got married, and after they got married, they realized my mother couldn't have kids. She wanted to have kids. So they come down to Georgia to adopt me and my twin sister. Yeah. And when the lady says they're not going to be much, they pray in the adoption home. And my mother says she hears the Lord say, no, they're going to be okay. And they adopt us anyway. Yeah. And raise us in a Christian home. So my beginnings have been Moses. Yeah. It's been Moses' story where, you know, Pharaoh is about to kill the firstborn because he's heard about this deliverer being born, which is Moses.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I need to kill the firstborn. I need to kill the first.
Yeah.
And Moses' mom sends him up the river. Moses is adopted into the family of Pharaoh.
Yeah.
And later obviously becomes Moses. But his journey begins with this guidance and this covering from God. And so I am not where I'm at today without him. He's been a part of my story from the beginning.
Yeah.
He has been the one, even in all of the things I've been through that we've discussed today.
Yeah.
The reason that I'm even on this podcast is the Lord's hand.
Yeah.
There's a song I've been worshiping to lately by Todd Galber called The Hand of God. And the whole concept is that he will have the final say.
Yeah.
I am in his hands.
Yeah.
And if I'm in his hands, all will be well.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Like I said, we can be here forever. How was it being back in these single streets? Like how was it? You know what I mean?
We jumping around, right?
No, but how was that for you being a single dad now?
Yeah.
Like, do you find it hard to date? Do you find like people are like, are you dating? If I don't mind me getting your business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it's hard to have a kid, being a public figure, and how is the dynamic going? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because when I dated the first time, I wasn't as known.
Yeah.
You know, having one, you know, my profile has risen over the years by the grace of God. And then when you go through some things, you know, bad news travels even faster
than good news.
And so
I heard that.
And so I feel like it made me more famous. And I was like, okay.
Is this such thing as bad publicity?
Like,
no, but that was bad publicity.
Jesus.
But God made it good.
But God,
you know what I mean?
What do you say? He works all things.
All things work together for our good.
And so it's interesting because the types of women that I meet now, I did not meet back then because I wasn't at this level.
Okay.
It's very difficult to date as a pastor. It is not difficult to date as a public figure now because apparently I hear there's not a lot of good men left.
Yeah.
And so when women meet individuals who are at the very least well put together, at least you got a job, you got somewhere you live in, you got whatever, that it's like, okay, we got a good candidate. You love God, you know, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And so that's not hard, but being a pastor in dating can be a little difficult, especially one that's been through some things, right? Because you wanna do all you can to not go through something else. Yeah. And you're meeting new people all the time. You're trying to figure out who you can trust, who you can do this to. I feel like and shout out to a few of the young ladies I have gotten to know over this day, you know, apologies to them for the sake of every you know, the beginning is always, okay, so we need to be discreet. My platform, like, can we have, because you want to have honest dialogue and you want to navigate the things of romance and so
even
on.
having a son, like, how do you have that conversation? Like, you just cannot bring everyone in, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And yes, and you don't want to step on another landmine and do this. And so I've had some women in my life who have helped me learn how to be single. And who have given me grace along the way and who have really been great stewards of my season. And I'm appreciative. And somebody asked me the other day, you know, about marriage. And I said, I absolutely want to get married again. I'm working on it. That's my next goal. I love marriage. Mine just wasn't what it needed to be. But, you know, you learn from the mistakes and you learn what is necessary and what is needed. So I'm really excited about my next one. Because I think we have the proper tools to do it well. But I was telling somebody, I have not met a bad woman. I've met some of the most incredible women ever. I just don't know if they were for me, my wife. You know what I mean? They might be. You know, but they've been incredible. That is the one thing about I think this level that I'm at now is that all the women I'm meeting are like amazing and top tier.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I'm also grateful for them, for their belief in me, you know, and the man that I am now, and who I'm becoming, and who God's made me to be.
What should people expect? You got your the greater story, the narrative, you know, the podcast with Sam Collier, which is part of the whole Greater Story Collective and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
What should people expect from that podcast? Yeah.
I'm working on it. You know, I think.
Now, but you got some episodes out already.
Yeah.
By the way, you guys should check him out on ARN platform.
Yes.
You know,
yes, American Urban Radio Network.
Yes. Check him out on our platform. It's everywhere you find your podcast. But you've got some good episodes.
Yeah. We had Rock Wilder on. BJ the Chicago Kid. Aaron Sledge.
That was big. Yeah.
It was huge.
Yeah.
We've had Dr. Jamal Bryan on. We've had Dabo Swing. Even, you know.
We should have Dr. Jamal on this podcast too. Should I have Dr. Jamal on this podcast? Yeah.
Shout it out. That's the clip you post.
Yeah.
And then tag him.
Yeah.
We should have.
Yeah.
He'll
Dr.
see that.
Yeah, we need you on this pod. I was in Atlanta, but you were doing the Lord's work, so I understand. We couldn't get with you.
Right.
But we're going to circle back.
Right.
No, but what should we look forward to, you know, for the next season and seasons to come? For the you plan on keeping that going, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Like, I think for me, I want to specialize in getting some really dope, significant interviews.
Okay. Well, what would be dope and significant for you? Is it number? Is it who they are? Like, what would you consider dope significant? Like,
you know, I think I'm still defining that.
Okay.
But I'll give you a few of the goals and the qualifications. You know, I've been wanting to interview Steph Curry for a while.
Okay, Steph.
Just about his Christianity in mainstream. And I think that's one of the lanes I want to kind of go down are individuals that love God, but are also navigating mainstream life and or celebrity and or influence and talk through how are you navigating that? What have you walked through? One of the reasons I wanted to be on AURN's platform versus a Christian platform was because I didn't want to just be confined to the Christian box. Yeah. I wanted to be able to interview individuals that you may not have on a Christian platform, but that love God. Yeah. And I think, you know, God is popular.
Yeah.
You know, people like God. You know what I'm saying?
I think people like God. I think what they have a problem with is Jesus.
Jesus?
Yeah.
That's what I said. Yeah. Everybody loves God. Jesus is the issue.
And then you got to be mindful, which God are you talking about?
Well, yeah. Let me
You know what I mean?
Let me also add to that and say, people like Jesus too.
Yeah, you know, Jesus is popping.
Jesus is popping.
That's what Country Wayne said.
Right,
he said Jesus is popping. That's what I'm saying.
So Country Wayne would be like a great, you know what, Wayne, let's sit down.
No, but I think a lot of people love God, and a lot of people are raised in Christians, a lot of people are saved, but I think what we struggle with, young people, when I talk to my friends and younger, me and my brother were about 7 or 8 years apart.
Yeah.
So when I talk to his generation, even some of my generation, right, is not, I talk to people all the time who go to church, are saved, been in church all their lives.
Yeah.
But the issue is now that consecration. You know what I'm saying? So you got people who be like, yeah, I believe that Jesus is the way, the only way. But I still engage in premarital sex. But you know what I'm saying? I think that's where we're at now, where it's going from just being Christian on paper to being Christian in practice. And I think that is the struggle for a lot of us. What would you say to young people who are in that space? How do we get to that point where we can reconcile the two?
Yeah. You know, I think we have the ideal, then we have the real.
Yeah.
And as a pastor, I want to speak to both and be really real, because I think it's the lack of realness that prevents people from fully leaning into the lifestyle that you're talking about of Christianity that the Bible invites us into. Yeah. It's hard out here.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard out here. And people are doing their very best to try and understand the biblical concepts that can be in conflict with culture and how they're raised.
Yeah.
And so what I would say is this: you're not going to get it all right.
Yeah.
The focus of Christianity is direction, not perfection. So you're never going to get it all right. but you should be trying to get it right.
Yeah.
You should never get to a point where you are lawless, where you just give up on trying to get it right.
Yeah.
But you also need to give yourself grace because you understand that you're not going to get it all right.
Yeah.
But the question is, and this is where I would challenge individuals, are you going to get there? And I think the answer is you can and you should. And let me define there. Life is messy. And the road to God's best is often messy. And I'll give an example. Many of us, when we start our journeys with Christianity, we will say, man, I'm so excited. Yeah. Right? I've gotten saved. I put my hands up. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to stop cursing. I'm going to stop having sex. I'm going to stop. Yeah. Porn is out. All of these things. Yeah. I'm going to be more forgiving. And then we start to walk out that journey. Yeah. And we're good for about 6 months.
Yeah. Probation. 6 month probation.
Then that 7th month, we're like, ooh, this got a little hard.
Yeah.
Oh, I was really excited.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it becomes rocky.
Yeah.
Somebody curses you out more than you thought they would. And you like, you want me to turn the other cheek? Yeah. Somebody breaks your heart more than you thought they would. Yeah. And you post something on IG and you do this, or you was doing really good. You had a hard day. You were good on the weed, but then you just, I just need a little hit. Yeah. Right? Can we be real?
Hey, that's what we do on this pod.
So the question becomes, what do I do when I mess up? What do I do when my journey I was on the straight and narrow and I fumbled a little bit? It's messy. Yeah. My encouragement is to walk through the mess to the end. Yeah. I think in the mess is where we give up. I got it wrong, so I'm going to stop. Walk through the mess. I'll give an example, and I'm done. Marriage, I think, is God's desire for many of us. Yeah. To your point, Paul instructs us that if we're not ready to do marriage, don't do it because it's harder than being single. Yeah. But he also tells us, well, if you're going to burn, you need to also think through this because the context of sex should be in marriage. Yeah. We want to make shift and do it our own way. We want to, maybe I could try, well, maybe I can. Now we start seeing a lot of, no shade, polyamorous relationships and all of these things. And all of this is an attempt for us to try and get around God's way. Because we don't like it. Yeah. We don't like it. Yeah. It's too hard, it's this. And what I would say is this. If you got to stumble your way to marriage. But get there.
Get there.
If you got to struggle your way into a life drug-free. Yeah. But get there.
Get there.
Get there. Yeah. And getting there is possible. And God will meet you at your effort. Yeah. And that's my message, man, for people. Oh, man. Just don't give up.
Don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up. Listen, on that note, we're going to wrap it up because he got to get back on the plane to Atlanta. We in D.C. He need a plane to catch. But I appreciate
I hope it was helpful, this episode.
It was absolutely helpful. My brother over here, Mr. Omega, he talking about he getting a lot of nuggets, you know what I mean? Like we ain't even post a podcast. He getting exclusives.
You know what I'm nuggets, saying?
Right. But no, thank you so much for coming to the pod. And we appreciate you. And we pray that God will continue to sustain you to keep you. Because a lot of times people get caught up in all the other stuff. I was more interested in your greater story, coming from where you come from, and to be sitting here right now and all the things you've been able to do. And I think that's what we miss. And that's what I want you guys to walk away with. It's not over for you. It's not over. Like, regardless of your situation, God can still turn anything around. Yeah. And we want you to just keep your eyes on him. Keep your eyes on him. You are worth it. You are worth it. You are deserving. I don't care if you don't have the right background, the right skin color, you don't live in the right neighborhood, you don't have work at the right job, whatever it is. Yeah. Whatever you got to do to wake up every day and remind yourself you are deserving. You are deserving. Romans 5 verse 8 says, he expresses love towards us in that while we were yet sinners, God gave you his best even when you did not have any knowledge of him.
Come on.
So nothing can separate you from his love. You are deserving. Don't ever let anybody lie to you. Love yourself. Whatever you got to do to love yourself. Understand this. You might fight through it some days you don't feel like waking up, but understand whatever you got to do to get there, this knowledge and this revelation and this fact that you are worthy, whatever you need to do to get there, please do, because you are in fact worthy. God bless you. We're going to see you on another episode of the High Vibrations Only podcast, where we're all about inspiration, motivation, elevation. Peace out.